Hey everyone, I am just so giddy. So, excuse me, I don't know why. I think I'm just excited to share with you what God has put in my heart today. Um, so yesterday I shared a message about faith and talked about how in Exodus 14:31, the Israelites saw the mighty works of God in splitting the sea and freeing them from slavery. Um, and then they put their faith in him. And I talked about how for some of us, God knows that we have to experience him before putting our faith in him, and how he meets us where we are. He's so merciful to us that he meets us where we are. And I was reminded about how when I called out to God from the bottom of the pit, in the pit of my despair, that's a song if you don't know, I asked him to come into my life. I said, God, whoever you are, come into my life. And guess what? Jesus came into my life by his servants here on earth. And I hope and pray that some of them or all of them get to see this video. About 10 years ago or so, several women all chipped in and bought me this Bible right here. This Bible right here. This poor little thing that's just tore up from the floor up now. And that's how Jesus revealed himself. He came into my life and I saw his mighty works, and he will do the same for you. And that's how God is showing us his mighty works. His mighty works is Jesus. Jesus is the mighty works. Okay? And because when he came into my life and when I started reading these words for myself, I was just completely blown away. Like completely mind blown. And it's passages like this one I want to read to you. It's Luke 18, verses 9 through 14. It says, Then Jesus told this story to some who had great confidence in their own righteousness and scorned everyone else. 2 men went to the temple to pray. One was a Pharisee, the other was a despised tax collector. The Pharisee stood by himself and prayed this prayer: I thank you, God, that I am not a sinner like everyone else. For I don't cheat, I don't sin, and I don't commit adultery. I'm certainly not like that tax collector. I fast twice a week and I give you 1/10 of my income. But the tax collector stood at a distance and dared not even lift his eyes to heaven as he prayed. Instead, he beat his chest in sorrow, saying, Oh God, be merciful to me, for I am a sinner. And Jesus says, I tell you, this sinner, not the Pharisee, returned home justified before God. For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. And it was passages like that that totally blew me away and made me realize, because I was that person at the bottom of the pit, beating my chest, asking for mercy, knowing I don't deserve it. And if you are asking for a sign, this is it. This is your sign. Have you ever said, Lord, just give me a sign? I say it all the time, I know. This is your sign. God has heard your prayer and he has heard your heart cry, and he is drawing you to him, and he loves you. He wants to show you his mighty works, and this is how he's going to do it. He did it for us. He made a way for us when there was no way, just like he did with the Israelites when he split the sea and he made a way for them when there was absolutely no physical way. Jesus made a way for us. Jesus did. And he will reveal it and reveal himself to you. I know it. If he did it for me, he will do it for you. And the last thing I want to share here is Hebrews 11:1 says, faith is the confidence that what we hope for will actually happen. It gives us assurance about things we cannot see. And I just see it as like the Israelites had to have hoped that God would make a way for them, or they would have stayed in Egypt. I mean, I suppose they had a choice, right? They would have stayed slaves, but they hoped that God would save them, and then they saw, and then they had faith. And it says it gives us assurance about things we cannot see. So let that sink in, let that minister to your heart. God knows where you are, and he will meet you where you are.